Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Erin and I do budget and finance videos and lately lots of planning and journaling. In today's video, I am going to go over our current debt situation and give you an update with some real numbers. So much that I want to talk to you guys about. Okay, let me slow down. All right, first things first. I have my Happy Notes notebook where I keep all my finances, well, most of them. And this is my new bullet journal. And I wanted to show this to you because if you watched my video a couple back, you know that I talked about my new bullet journal, but it was a teal colored Leuchtturm 1917. So this is the same type of notebook, same brand, but I spilled water on my first one, and you can't imagine how upset I was because if you do any type of journaling or, you know, planning and things like that, you know how much work you put into your layouts. And when I did that, I was just so mad at myself. But anyways, not going to stress over it. I just picked up a new notebook and I started to transfer some of my layouts into this one. And actually, I'm kind of glad that it happened in a way because it allowed me to kind of slow down and take a second look at this. I've adopted lots of ideas and inspiration from Pinterest, from other YouTube videos on bullet journal layouts, and I'm really, really happy with the way that this is shaping up. So here, this is my January goals, and this is something I haven't yet populated, but I'm going to be working on this later so I can give you guys an update on this week. So if you watched my bullet journaling video from last week, you know that I am doing a goal challenge for every month during 2020, and I was inspired by my friend Beth. So Beth, if you're watching, thank you for the inspiration, and I linked her channel in that original video if you want to check out what she is doing. But every month is going to focus on a different section of the home or life, and you know, has different steps on how to purge or how to deal with certain categories that maybe you want to be more minimalistic about. So I'm going to work on that, but I have lots and lots of layouts in here that I've already completed. And like I said, I'm really happy with how it is starting to shape up. So I'll be doing a flip through of that as soon as I have more of this complete. But I'm really excited about this. I just did this one earlier today, and it is the remainder of our home mortgage payoff. So we are at this number down here, and this is not our purchase price. This is just where we are now. And I'm sure that it will be many, many, many bullet journals away when I actually reach the finish line. So this is just to give me an overview, and I really like tracking numbers. And for a lot of you, that's why you are on my channel, because you know that I really love sharing finance and finance-related videos with you, because I'm super interested in it. I like to be organized with my own finances. My finances used to be a hot mess, and it took me a lot of a learning curve and a lot of mistakes to get where we are at today. But I feel really good about where we're at. Even though we've had a couple of setbacks, job related, we're still forging forward and everything is going to be just fine. We're going to be all settled in a few months, couple months at the most. So I'm just going ahead and being very excited about diligently paying off our debt. So I have two layouts in this notebook, and this is our current credit card situation. So this was a home equity loan that we originally took out, and that's a great way to borrow money. If you have a mortgage and you have enough credit in it, you can borrow against it at a very fair rate most of the time. And it's a really nice way to access extra money if you need it for repairs. However, what I decided to do, because we were paying interest on our home equity loan, I decided to put it all on a 0% interest credit card. So let me explain a little bit about these two layouts, and then I will zoom in so you can see up close the figures. So let's start with this one, because this kind of includes everything that we were dealing with toward the end of 2018. So in a relatively short amount of time, we've paid off quite a bit of debt. And you may be asking, how did we do that? So there were a lot of factors that went into it, and my husband always gets a yearly bonus. He won't be getting it this year because he's been laid off for a while, but previously, and including in 2019, he did get some bonus money for his job. We put that on this debt. We put our income tax refund on this debt. We tightened our bootstraps, and we really reduced our spending. And maybe some of you who watch my videos might still say, but you still spend money, and we do. I never thought, or I never planned on creating a system where we would be kind of like debt poor. And what I mean by that is putting every single spare penny on this. So for a little bit we did that, but then to keep it going and for this plan to be sustainable, we needed to slow it down a bit and stop putting every single penny on there. We needed to start building our savings again, and that was something I really wasn't that comfortable with, was not putting anything in savings and putting everything on the debt. And we weren't in that much of a hurry. So, I mean, we were and we weren't, but you guys know what I'm saying. So the only thing that we were fighting against the clock was the 0% interest offer to run out. So the first credit card that we had was an actual credit card, and we did do some home improvements. We did a lot of shopping. We just spent some money. So you can see here that our first credit card, and I'll zoom in a little bit closer, was a total of $14,400. So that one we paid off fairly quickly. And I want to say that we paid that off by early 2019. So we started really paying it down at the end of 2018 in the fall. And by early 2019 or thereabouts, a couple months in, we were able to pay it off entirely. So the next thing I decided to do was take that home equity loan and put it on a 0% interest credit card. So the reason why you see $36,400 here is because I wanted to track all this debt since the end of 2018 until the time we paid it off. So I didn't want to discount this because that was a lot of work for us. And so I wanted to make sure that we still counted that as part of our debt journey over the past year and a half. So that's why you still see that, and that's why I want to make sure that I continue to track my numbers with that included, because for all intents and purposes, we have paid down a lot of debt since 2018, regardless of which card or loan it was on. But let's go back to the one, and we'll update this too. We're going to update both of these today. Let's go back to this one because this one is a little bit more simplified and related to our debt at hand. So this home equity loan started off at $22,000. And what I did, and you can see the $22,000 right here, what I did was transfer that to a 0% interest credit card. Now the credit card I'm using is from Ulta, and you guys are probably laughing like, good Lord, girl, like how much credit do you have on a makeup card? It's actually an Ulta MasterCard, and our credit limit is quite high. So I will show you exactly what we have left in a little photo. I'm going to remember to put that in this time and show you our current balance on there. So we had a really high limit and we were able to put everything on it. And quite a few of our credit cards, we have pretty high limits. And part of that is because that is a little trick. I don't know what I did to these pages. That's a little trick that you can do if you have decent credits where you will be able to get credit line increases. Go ahead and ask for them, but only ask for them as long as you know that you can control your spending and you're not going to use all that credit. So the more credit that you have open and the less credit you use, your credit score goes up, because that means the credit card companies can trust you with X amount of dollars and know that you are not going to max it out. And not maxing out your cards is a good thing in the credit world. So I am going to mark down today's date, and let me see. I even have my colored pencils out and ready to go. We are down to 71.76. And so let's see, for since we're not down to 7,100, I'm going to round it up to 7,200 because I don't like to account for more money than we've already paid. So the date today is 1/7/20. And actually, we haven't done that much. The last time I updated this was October 14th, and we were at 8,800. So since we had November's payment and December's payments, and so I guess that's in 2 months. So we paid over, I guess we paid about $1,600. So that's not too bad. I would have liked to have been more, but since we were currently in the holiday season, you know, we were spending money and buying Christmas presents and doing lots of other things. So there wasn't as much money to throw toward it. So let me see what color I'm going to use today. Oh my gosh, I have so many pens and pencils. And I want to find one that maybe isn't a color that I have used lately. You know what? I'm just going to go back with this. This is Aqua Green by Crayola. So I've put the date in here, and I like to put the date of when we reached this goal or when we reached this level. So I'm just going to get to coloring, and I love this part because it is very satisfying when you can color in blocks, and that's why I like to make charts, and that's why I made our mortgage chart too, because like I said, even though the current bullet journal I'm in, I will never see the finish line in this one. I don't foresee us able to pay off over $100,000 this year, and in fact, that's a 30-year mortgage. So when you think about it, you could pay off $100,000 in much less time, but not with the bank's interest. So that's where they get you. So in fact, I think that would be an interesting video to show you the breakdown of a mortgage payment, because especially when you're in the beginnings, and we did refinance our house at one point, so we kind of had to start over. But when you're in the beginnings of a mortgage pay down, when you first buy your home or if you refinance, I can't even tell you for how long your payments are going to be, in some cases, PMI, which is mortgage insurance, if you don't have enough equity in your home or if you don't have enough down payment. I don't know. There's lots of factors that go into that. So it's like an insurance for the bank. You're going to be paying escrow. And in some cases, you're going to be paying that for your property taxes and or your homeowner's insurance. But you can do those things separately too. You don't have to do it through the bank. And in other cases, you're going to be paying the interest. And the interest is so high. So let's say your mortgage payment is $1,000. You'll be lucky if $180 of it goes towards the principal, depending on what your interest rate is. Maybe 2 something at the most. But yeah, they really get you. So your mortgage comes down quite a bit later, like as your loan matures. So the further you get into your mortgage, you know, the further years you get into it, that's when you start seeing more of the principal come down. So it's really interesting. And if you are at a 30-year mortgage and you don't have the money to refinance, or maybe you don't think you're going to qualify for a refinance rate for 20 years or 15 years, there are ways that you can figure that out, and you can pay extra toward the principal and pay it off in 15 or 20 years. You can figure out what you need to pay extra in order to shave years off of your mortgage. And in most cases, well, the only case you can do that is if you don't have a penalty for early payments, or early payoff. But anyways, all right, so I'm getting really into the mortgage situation. So let's go here now. So paying down our debt to, I have my note here, to $7,176 now means we have paid off $29,224 since fall of 18. So what I'm going to do, $29,200. So we've paid off $29,244. So I'm going to put today's dates under $29,200 because I'm going to round down. I don't like to say that we paid off more than we did. And I'm going to color in all these squares. And guys, I love the visual of this because it just makes me so happy to look at this and think, wow, each one of these represents $100. Each one of these represents a lot of work and dedication. And it's hard. It's hard when you're paying down a credit card or any type of debt, not only to make those payments, but not to run it up again, you know, and that's a mistake I've made throughout my life. You know, I've had lots of credit card debt and I've run it up and I've paid it down, you know, it happens, but it takes so much dedication and it just takes a lot of effort and work to keep it under control. And for those of you who are naturally not spenders, or you don't ever use credit cards or run things up, I give you lots and lots of credits. For me, I love to shop. I love to do home decor and improvements. I don't know, it's just in my nature. So it's not easy. It doesn't come easy or naturally to me to not be a spender. So, all right, so I have all these squares colored in now, and that's quite a good chunk since October of 19. So we colored in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 squares. And now our running balance is a little over $7,100. So I think our 0% interest offer runs out in September. So we have until September to pay off that $7,000 odd. And I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to do it. And if we're not able to do it, I will transfer this in July or August, because I'll know if we're able to see the finish line at that time. I'll give it until July or August. I don't want to run it too close to the payoff date or the expiration date for the 0% interest, because if you don't, you can accumulate all the interest from the very beginning, and that's not something that I want to see happen. So if I feel like we can't pay this off in July or August, I will transfer whatever remaining balance we have onto another 0% interest credit card. And guys, that's also a reason why you need to keep your credit score high so you can qualify for these 0% interest offers. Now, I can tell you that the last two 0% interest offers that I've taken advantage of have had no interest for purchases, no interest for balance transfers, and I was able to transfer a loan onto this one, which is almost unheard of. And also, it didn't have a balance transfer fee. So some of you out there, when I first talked about that, were like, that doesn't exist. It's a unicorn, but it exists. So do your research, go on NerdWallet. They have so much information on the best credit cards. They will tell you who has 0% interest, what the longevity is, if it's 12 months, 15 months, 18 months, and they will also tell you who's offering right now today 0 balance transfer fees, because usually you have to pay 3% or 5%. There's usually a fee that is involved. So make sure that you're smart about it and do your research and you get the best deal available. So that's it. That's my debt update. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed coloring it. I enjoyed sharing it with you. And like I said, I will be back to share my goals pages once again as soon as I get them updated in my bullet journal, because that is something I think is going to keep me on track this year. And I think what I'm also going to do is create a new layout for my debt progress that I can keep in here as well. So thank you so much again for watching. And if you haven't already subscribed, I would love if you stuck around and did so. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care.